I was like,
Welcome back to Good Evening KU. I'm Taylor Thomas. I'm here with Patrick Sullivan. So before we talk about anything today, what about that Royals game last night?
it was unreal.
Literally
unreal.
ridiculous.
Instant classic, as all the reports have been saying. But started off with this early run here. I guess jumped on it a little too early. But Alcides Escobar driving one to deep left center. And the error by Daniel Murphy, just killer. Inside the park home run. Mm-hmm. Great way to start the game. But ran pretty late.
Yeah,
pretty late.
I heard that it was the longest entry game in the World Series.
It was 5 hours. 14 innings in 5 hours, yeah.
I can't imagine even being
Unreal.
there.
The Royals were just clawing back the entire game, and
That's
finally
crazy.
took them long enough.
That's so crazy. I was the worst pretend fan in the whole wide world. I fell asleep during the 12th, so.
Can't blame you. I was nodding off towards the end there. It's just back and forth the whole time.
I know. It's hard. It's hard to stay up that late, especially baseball. I feel like it's kind of boring, but all my friends were screaming, literally, screaming all night long. Like every single time didn't we not get a run during the past, like from 9 to 14. That's crazy.
It took forever.
So crazy. So you were up the whole night.
Yeah. Stayed
Tired?
up. Didn't have class till 11, so
there you go. Sleeping a little.
It was the only one though, so I was kind of hanging out.
Yep.
Not too much going on.
We were hanging out in J300 too.
Yeah.
So.
That was the only class I had.
So super tired. What else did you do today? That's it?
Finished my chores. Got my homework done. You know.
What'd
you do?
You have?
You know, made my bed, got stuff done.
I see.
Checking stuff off.
My day was not too eventful, except I saw the cutest thing ever in the whole wide world today. There were these basketball players and these, I'll start over. These kids from Holy Trinity.
In Lenexa?
Yeah, in Lenexa, that middle school. They came to visit campus today, and they were walking around and waiting for their buses to go home. And as they were waiting, these two basketball players were going to class, maybe.
That looks like LeGerald Vick right there.
Yeah, and they stopped and they signed all of their papers for them. Like, not even just a couple, and we're like, goodbye. They signed all of them and were staying there forever.
You love to see that.
I know, it's so cute.
Standing there on their foot segways.
Yeah, they're literally.
They're already tall enough.
I know. I was watching it happen, and they were, like, crunched down. They had to bend their knees and their whole bodies to, like, sign them. They were, like, signing them on their backs and stuff like that. Can you imagine going home from school and being like, what'd you do today, honey? And be like, Mom, this basketball player
just got an
signed
autograph.
my back.
Yeah, whatever.
That'd be the funnest thing in the whole wide world. So, speaking of sports, what's going on this week?
Today, we got volleyball against Iowa State. It's a big game.
Awesome.
Game, yeah. And then Friday is our senior day for soccer, and it's a must-win.
The last game?
Yeah, it's a must-win to get into the tournament. So I think it's our last home game.
Okay.
And then Saturday, of course, we got football at 2:30 against Oklahoma, 6-1 Sooners.
You think we're gonna win?
I have confidence. I have confidence in our coaches.
All right.
But
that'll be fun.
and then later that night, of course, the Royals game at 7.
Oh.
Yeah, game 4 and Halloween. It is Halloween.
Literally a 3 whammy in that one day. I don't know how we're gonna survive.
Too much to do in one day.
It is. We're gonna have to run through everywhere. Back to Kansas City. Back to KU.
What are you dressing up as?
So I wanted to be a pumpkin in a pumpkin patch, and I wanted all my friends to be pumpkins with me too, but I was shot down so fast. So.
And you're still doing it by yourself?
Maybe. We'll see. I think it's such a cute idea. I hate Halloween being scary.
Dressing up as a pumpkin?
Yeah, it's so cute and simple, and scary Halloween is not fun, and so I was going for the big T-shirt with a jack-o'-lantern on my,
It's better than my costume.
Okay, what's yours?
I'm a cow. I have this cow costume from a long time ago. You know, it's pretty funny. I mean, it's just a big, it's just a big cow. Get a party hat, be like a party animal.
No, that's my friend's idea.
What?
Yeah.
Your friends are doing that?
Yeah, you could join them. They're being deers and giraffes.
I can't do that.
Random stuff, though. You can be a barn animal. Be the cow from the barn animal. You know that show, Barn Animals? Are you kidding?
I'm out of the loop.
Oh my gosh. When I was 10, that was the best show in the whole world. It was like barn animals and there was a cow. I think it was a video game. Okay. Well, anyways, you should do that. So what's your favorite memory, do you think?
Chipotle. Chipotle used to give away free food. Yeah. But that's not a big deal. So have a safe Halloween.
Yes, absolutely.
Up next, we have Bella with her guest, Ryan Brinker, political science expert.
Where you go to college makes a statement about you. This place will become a part of you, your identity for life. The University of Kansas, a great place to be you.
Welcome back, and thank you for joining us. I'm Isabella Conjemi, here with my guest today, Ryan Brinker, who's a political science and pre-law student. Ryan, thank you for joining us.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me, Bella.
So we turn your attention now to a controversial piece of legislation recently passed in the state of Tennessee surrounding Islam and its place in school instruction. Let's take a look.
A proposed bill in the State House here in Tennessee would ban teaching Tennessee public school students religious doctrine until the 10th grade. Republican State Representative Sheila Butt from Middle Tennessee is proposing that bill. It comes on the heels of parent complaints in communities around the state that their children are learning too much about Islam. State leaders say the instruction on Islam is all within historical context. Today, the nation's largest Muslim advocacy organization is asking for state residents to oppose that bill. The Council on American Islamic Relations believes Representative Butt introduced that bill out of fear and bigotry. The group's government affairs manager, Robert McCaw, sent out a statement today saying the education of children in Tennessee should not be delayed because of anti-Muslim bigotry, Islamophobia, like Representative Butt failed to recognize that there is a big difference between teaching students about religion as an important part of world history and promoting particular religious beliefs.
The state Senate passed this bill 32-0, effectively signing it into law. The bill also permits students to express disapproval of religious beliefs without any consequences. Ryan, let's talk about the legality of the bill, and is there anything in the Constitution that may come into conflict with this bill's language?
Well, in any sort of religious freedom bill or religious freedom act, one has to take into account implications of the First Amendment and freedom of religion in the United States, saying nothing of state legislation or anti-hate crime legislation. In the creation of a separate group, which is to say, Islamic students being separated from everybody else, you could fall into issues of harassment, issues of freedom of expression, issues of freedom of religion. Any number of things could possibly come into conflict with this bill. On the opposite side, there is a legality in separating religious studies from state-funded educational centers, but only in the context of promoting religion and not educating. Mm-hmm. The idea is that the schools were educating about religion. It was mistaken for a promotion of religion, and that's why the controversy.
So this is kind of something you could say the opposite of that's what it's doing.
I'd say so.
So aside from the possible legal issues, what ethical ramifications could come about this in the result of this bill?
Well, as I'd said before, and I don't even think that it's the intent of the bill, but when creating legislation that affects one party specifically, you effectively create a them instead of an us. Mm-hmm. And this sort of thing can lead to alienation, can lead to bullying, can lead to violence in some instances. It's an issue of not educating and instead, fear-mongering in a way.
So because Tennessee, and it's especially conservative part of the South, there's a higher chance of exposure of Islamophobia in the household. With this in mind, does the bill actively reinforce an irrational fear of creeping Islam?
Well, hard to say, but it certainly has the potential to do so. In an environment in a post-9/11 United States, we find ourselves often having misunderstandings due to a very vocal minority of violent extremists. And to subconsciously imply that there is a danger in instructing about Islam, it sort of reinforces that sort of a negative stereotype.
So law in this country set precedent, and just to speculate for a moment, what are some possible consequences of this bill becoming a law?
Well, it's always a sticky situation when somebody can create a set of rules to point out just one specific area or idea, because these things are completely subjective as to what is dangerous or what is outside of American values. I would not be surprised if in the future we see identical pieces of legislation like this one that are anti-acceptance in tone, and that sort of thing could be really dangerous.
Right, it kind of promotes or justifies like a hate crime.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which can lead into many, many bad things. So that's about all the time that we have, but thank you for coming. And on for today's segment. Up next, we'll be back with the news.
Scott. And I'm Paige Adamany, and this is your Good Evening KU News Update. It took 14 innings, but the Royals were able to pull off the win in last night's Game 1 of the World Series. With the bases loaded, Eric Hosmer sent a fly ball deep into right field, and Alcides Escobar beat Curtis Granderson's throw home. This run gave Kansas City the 5-4 win. Game 2 is tonight at the K, with the first pitch in about 2 hours.
The World Health Organization released a report that claims processed meats can be a cause of cancer, specifically colon cancer. Processed meats include hot dogs, sausage, bacon, and ham. Meat industry groups are calling the report misleading since it places processed meats in the same category as cigarettes. The report also includes a warning about red meat.
The South Carolina police officer who shot and killed a teenager in late July will not be charged with the crime. Video evidence released to the public yesterday showed the officer telling the teenager to put his hands up. As the teen tried to drive away, the officer fired a shot through the window, killing the driver. State officials said the officer did not break any laws, but that his actions were concerning.
The next debate for Republican presidential candidates is tonight in Boulder, Colorado. The third televised debate will only last 2 hours, as requested by both Donald Trump and Ben Carson. If you're not watching the World Series, you can find the debate on CNBC at 7 p.m.
The University of Mississippi will vote tomorrow on whether to hire KU Provost Jeff Vitter as their new chancellor. The State Board of Trustees announced last week that Vitter was their preferred candidate. Vitter has been the vice provost at KU for the last 5 years.
The KU volleyball team travels to Iowa State tonight to face off against the Cyclones. This starts the second half of their Big 12 play this season. KU is now ranked 10th in the country after losing to Texas on Friday. The loss ended their 19-match winning streak.
And that will wrap up today's news update. Stay tuned for the weather with Nick and Sam.
Welcome back to Good Evening KU. We've got Tyler Sotart outside with the weather, and he's going to tell us what it's feeling like out there. How you feeling,
Jayhawks.
Tyler?
How you doing? How you doing, Patrick?
Good. What's up, man?
Well, it's a little chilly out here. If you can't tell, I'm decided to wear short sleeves, and everyone around here is kind of giving me the deer in the headlight look because I wasn't smart enough to wear a jacket. But that's how that's going. Right now it's 61. Got quite the wind chill though. Tonight, if you're going to the Royals game, for all you Royals fans, if you're heading out to Kaufman, the sunset will be around 6:25, and your first pitch will be around 7:07, and we're looking at around 54 degrees. So I would grab a couple jackets, and if it ends up like tomorrow night's game, I'd grab 2 jackets because the temperatures will be decreasing tonight just continuously and on into tomorrow morning. And tomorrow morning, if you do have an early class, I'd be looking at your 7 and 8 a.m.s around 37 degrees.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah. We'll need a little bit of that. And also, for all you Jayhawks looking to go out this weekend and you're going to have a trick-or-treat or you're going to whatever your occasion might be for Halloween, we're looking at a big window of temperatures, anywhere from 63 to 39 degrees. So I think that one might need to be played by ear, but it could go either way.
Sounds good. All right, man. Well, you pretty much covered it. Thanks a bunch.
I try to cover it all, guys. Oh, and by the way, Jayhawks, one more note. Sunday and Monday, just to assure you guys, it'll be a little bit warmer. We should head up into the 70s, 73-ish. So we should round it up a little warmer by the end of the
Gonna
week.
be nice. Awesome. Thanks, man.
All right, no problem. Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, that'll do us here for Good Evening KU. Have a good day, and make sure to follow us on social media at Media Crossroads on Twitter. Thanks.